How ready are finance teams to use AI in payments?
Individuals within the teams are all excited about AI. Institutions as well are very much ready to embrace that potential. But what we actually see is that loads of institutions are kicking off pilots, but they get stuck.
Why do you think they're stuck in the pilots?
AI is a tool that thrives on good data. Lots of institutions actually rely on data that they don't fully trust yet. And that's the source of the problem.
What do we need to do to get good data?
Institutions operate with many different systems, many different processes for each of those systems. For example, on the payment scheme level, you've got one team, one system looking at your SWIFT payments or your cross-border payments. You've got another separate team using a whole separate system to deal with your domestic payments. That's one among many different silos that can happen across organizations. So the first thing to look at very much is the quality of the data that each system has. You then actually have to orchestrate data across different back office applications to make sure it's standardized and that they're all talking the same language eventually, so that AI can actually turn them into something that's an actionable insight.
Once organizations have overcome that and they're no longer stuck, what are the benefits that they can now unlock as a result of AI?
I'll give you one real-world example. You've got the AI that gives you a great consolidated overview of all your payment cost and speed statistics across all rails. Once you've got that data, then imagine a world in which you can actually orchestrate and route your payments intelligently according to that data. Mm-hmm. So for example, my AI tells me, okay, you take corridor A for a given payment. It's going to cost you this, and it's going to take this much time versus corridor B.
These are topics that organizations have been trying to solve for decades, but it's required people involved in the task. How much do you see AI being involved in that particular process?
Is the industry actually ready to automate everything without a human check? I would argue it's not exactly the case right yet, but AI can definitely speed up the time that humans take to make a decision. I'll give you one example, right? Upfront checks before you even initiate a payment. Without AI, a payment operator is going to have to look up the standards release. They're going to have to do a lot of checks, manual interventions. AI can accelerate the data being given to the human who's going to make the decision in order for the decision to be quicker and better informed. Humans use AI, not AI makes human decisions.
How should people think about maintaining control of payments in the world of AI?
AI can give me lots and lots of things. But as a human, if I'm looking at the results that AI is giving me and I don't know where it's coming from, then I'm losing that control. So it's really important when institutions think about AI that they really consider the explainability layer. If you don't have that, you definitely lose control.
We're seeing more of that with audits and how organizations are thinking about auditability of transactions. Do you see that there's some friction with AI and compliance when it comes to the connectivity piece?
One thing that is key is that institutions need model risk management practices. So I think the explainability piece together with the explainability within the actual outcome that AI gives you is definitely key.
Let's talk a little bit about fraud. How do you see AI benefiting finance teams to defend themselves against fraud?
There are many points in the fraud detection workflow at which AI can bring tremendous value. One of them, which is already very much implemented, I would say, across the industry, is AI risk scoring models. That still requires manual intervention, and we're not automating anything. We're simply facilitating humans accessing information that would take them days or weeks to access. Then you can also think of AI in the fraud space. So you could think of privacy-enhancing technologies. You could think of data sharing across institutions in the way that's privacy-preserving. institutions have got very powerful fraud detection tools, but they're very much siloed from what actually happens in the real time on the connectivity space.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a silo there, AI can actually help to bridge that gap between what's happening in real time on the network to feed it back to your fraud detection systems.
Okay, Natasha. So what would you recommend to anyone listening that is thinking about their next step, their next best action in the world of AI and payments?
So for anyone who's stuck with their pilots in pilot mode and they can't get into production, the first thing to consider, the next right thing, is really to think holistically, right? It's not AI versus payments separately. They need to be taken together. If you want AI to give you real-time actionable insights, then you've got to go to the source and look at the real-time payments.